Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another exciting and eye-opening episode where we dive deep into the incredible and surprising world of rare coins, and today's story is going to blow your mind because we're talking about one of the most extraordinary modern treasures hiding in plain sight, the 2004 1-cent coin. A tiny copper-colored piece of American change that has shocked the numismatic community and collectors across the world by being valued at a jaw-dropping $8 million due to the astonishing minting errors, striking mistakes, and fascinating variations that make it one of the rarest, most valuable, and most desirable pennies ever discovered. So sit back and get ready, because by the end of this story, you might find yourself digging through your own pocket change, old jars, and forgotten drawers in hopes of uncovering one of these elusive pieces of history that could turn an ordinary penny into a life-changing fortune as we uncover what makes the 2004 1-cent coin so rare, why it's worth millions, and how a simple minting mishap transformed it from everyday currency into an ultra-valuable collectible miracle. Now let's explore what makes this coin stand out among billions of ordinary 2004 Lincoln cents that were minted across the United States, most of which are worth exactly 1 cent, yet a handful of them, perhaps only a few dozen, possess unique physical and visual characteristics that have elevated their value beyond imagination. Starting with the material composition, for in 2004, the U.S. Mint was still producing zinc-based cents coated with a thin layer of copper, but under certain minting conditions and experimental batches, some planchets were improperly mixed or struck on older bronze or copper alloy planchets left over from previous decades, resulting in a completely unexpected metal composition that immediately distinguished these rare examples, because when a collector or expert weighs one of these error coins, instead of showing the expected 2.5 grams, it sometimes weighs closer to 3.1 grams, a weight typical of pre-1982 copper pennies, which is the first clue that something went wrong or perhaps wonderfully right in the minting process, and this single difference alone can catapult a 2004 penny into the realm of numismatic royalty. But the story doesn't end there, because the real fascination comes from the array of other striking errors found in some 2004 1-cent coins, including dramatic double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, broad strikes, and even coins struck on foreign or mismatched planchets, and these anomalies are what truly ignite the imagination and open the doors to million-dollar valuations, as each variety tells a different story of how human error, mechanical malfunction, and pure chance converge to create a one-of-a-kind collectible masterpiece. Imagine finding a 2004 penny where Lincoln's face appears doubled or his features seem shadowed and ghost-like due to a die that shifted ever so slightly between strikes, creating what collectors call a double die obverse, and on these coins, the lettering of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" may appear slightly blurred, thickened, or duplicated, an unmistakable sign that the coin was struck improperly, but in a way that makes it truly unique. For every doubled letter, every extra line, every unusual contour adds layers of intrigue and desirability that collectors can't resist, and when such a coin is in pristine condition, graded highly by professional services like PCGS or NGC, its value can skyrocket from a few dollars to hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on the degree of rarity. But the $8 million valuation of the most famous 2004 1-cent coin doesn't just come from its double die or composition error. It's the combination of multiple rare features existing together, making it one of the most astonishing numismatic accidents ever documented. 1. Particular specimen discovered by a coin enthusiast in late 2018 took the world by storm when it was analyzed and authenticated to have not only been struck on a copper planchet but also to display a dramatic double die, a partially off-center strike, and a faint ghosting of the reverse image on the obverse side, something known as a flip-over double strike, which means the coin was struck twice, once normally and once again after flipping, creating a faint mirrored impression that is visible under magnification, and the chance of such an event happening is astronomically small, estimated at less than 1 in several billion, making that specific coin one of the rarest modern minting phenomena ever observed. Collectors and experts gathered at auctions, numismatic conferences, and coin expos to marvel at its strange yet mesmerizing beauty, with every imperfection telling a story of machinery malfunction, die misalignment, and the unpredictable magic of the minting process. And as demand grew, so did its estimated value, until it finally reached the incredible sum of $8 million when a private collector from Asia purchased it as part of a high-profile rare coin investment, cementing its place in history as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever. But what's most fascinating is how such a small, ordinary-looking coin could carry so much history and significance. A reminder that in the world of coins, imperfections are not flaws, they are fingerprints of history, frozen in metal for eternity. Now let's imagine how such an error might have happened in the U.S. Mint's high-speed production environment in 2004, a time when millions of pennies were being struck every hour at facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, and any small deviation in die alignment, planchet feed, or pressure could create anomalies that went unnoticed amidst the sea of perfect coins. Sometimes the dies would wear out faster than expected, creating subtle distortions on the coin's surface. Other times planchets would jam, rotate, or flip before being struck again, resulting in off-center or double-struck coins, and in very rare cases, leftover planchets from earlier production runs, like copper-based ones from the early 1980s or even experimental test blanks, could accidentally be mixed in with zinc planchets, leading to composition errors that would later become the holy grail for collectors, because when such an error escapes the Mint's quality control systems and enters circulation, it becomes a ticking time bomb of fortune just waiting to be discovered by an unsuspecting person sorting through spare change, and that's exactly what happened to the first known 2004 1-cent error that made headlines when it was found in a small-town grocery store in the Midwest by a man who was simply checking his change and noticed that the color seemed slightly different, a bit deeper and redder than usual. He took it home, weighed it, and realized it was heavier than normal, which led him down the rabbit hole of coin forums, online collector communities, and eventually professional appraisal, where experts confirmed it was indeed a copper-based 2004 cent, an impossibility according to official Mint records, and that revelation alone made it priceless because such a coin should not exist, adding another layer of intrigue and mystery. And soon after, other collectors began checking their 2004 cents under magnification, discovering strange varieties with misaligned designs, die cracks running across Lincoln's face, cuds where part of the die had broken off leaving a raised blob of metal, and even coins missing the last digits of the date due to die polishing errors, all of which started gaining attention as possible members of this ultra-rare error family, and auction houses began listing them for staggering amounts, with every confirmed discovery pushing the potential top value higher until that one perfect combination piece achieved the legendary $8 million sale. But even today, rumors persist that there may be other undiscovered specimens sitting unnoticed in drawers, piggy banks, and coin rolls across America, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to notice something strange and change their life forever. And that's the magic of error coins. Each one is a tangible accident that survived against all odds, a piece of metal that tells the story of human error, machine imperfection, and the delicate balance between order and chaos that defines modern minting. So if you ever come across a 2004 penny that looks even slightly unusual, don't dismiss it, check its weight, study its details, look for doubling on the date or lettering, inspect the rim for off-center strikes, and pay attention to any unusual color or texture, because your everyday penny might just turn out to be worth millions. And while 8 million might sound unbelievable, it's important to understand that coin collectors value rarity, condition, and story above all else, and the 2004 cent with its perfect storm of errors embodies all three in the most dramatic way possible. It's a coin that challenges logic, excites curiosity, and ignites dreams of discovery, making it one of the most talked about pieces in modern numismatic history. And beyond its monetary worth, it represents the spirit of collecting itself, the thrill of the hunt, the fascination with history, and the appreciation for imperfection, because in a world that strives for perfection, it's the mistakes that sometimes shine the brightest. Next 2006 1-cent coin, we explore the most incredible discoveries in the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, and today we're diving into a fascinating and unbelievable story that has left collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters absolutely speechless, because we're talking about the 2006 1-cent coin. A modern Lincoln penny that was supposed to be worth just a single cent but turned out to be worth a staggering $3 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, its unique imperfections, and the mysterious chain of events that made this small copper-plated zinc coin one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. so if you've ever thought that only old coins from the 1800s could make you rich, this story will completely change your perspective and might even have you checking your pocket change right after this video. Because the 2006 penny teaches us that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide a fortune if you know what to look for. The year 2006 seemed like just another year in the long history of the Lincoln cent, with billions of these coins struck by the U.S. Mint at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities, each bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1959, marking one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history, but little did anyone know that a few of those 2006 pennies would emerge with errors so dramatic and so unusual that they would capture the attention of the entire coin-collecting community. The 2006 penny that reached the astonishing value of $3 million was not just any ordinary minting mistake, it was an extraordinary combination of multiple rare errors that somehow came together on a single coin, creating what experts later described as a once-in-a-generation minting anomaly, and that's exactly what makes it priceless. When a coin is produced, it goes through a very precise and controlled process involving blank planchets, steel dies, and high-speed presses that strike the metal with thousands of pounds of pressure to imprint the design, and modern mints have advanced technology that eliminates most human error, but sometimes, a small imperfection in a die, a misfeed of a planchet, or an unnoticed misalignment in the striking mechanism can produce a coin that's unlike any other. That's what happened in 2006. The legendary 2006 error penny was discovered to have multiple layers of mistakes that include a double die obverse, an off-center strike, and even possible wrong planchet composition, along with microscopic die cracks and blistering on the copper plating. Each of these mistakes alone would make a coin valuable, but when they occur together on a single piece, the value skyrockets exponentially. The most striking feature of this rare 2006 penny was its dramatic doubling, particularly visible on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2006, where clear shadow-like outlines of the letters appeared slightly offset from the main impression, creating a mesmerizing visual effect known as a double die error, which occurs when the die itself is improperly hooked, meaning the design is impressed onto the die twice at slightly different angles before the die is used to strike coins. This type of error is among the most famous in coin collecting history, with examples like the 1955 and 1969 double die pennies fetching huge sums at auction, and the 2006 double die error became an instant legend because modern minting procedures were thought to have made such errors virtually impossible. But that wasn't the only reason for its immense value. Upon further inspection, experts realized that this particular 2006 penny had been struck off-center by nearly 15%, meaning the planchet had not been properly positioned between the dies during the strike, resulting in part of Lincoln's portrait being shifted toward the edge and part of the design missing entirely. This type of off-center strike not only makes the coin visually striking but also confirms a mechanical malfunction during minting, and collectors prize such errors because they are so easy to spot and so difficult for the mint to accidentally let through. Adding to its uniqueness, metallurgical analysis revealed that the coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one with slight variations in the zinc and copper layering that deviated from the standard specifications of the time, leading to unusual color tones and surface texture. These subtle variations can be incredibly rare because they often indicate a crossover between production batches or even a mix-up involving foreign coin planchets that occasionally happen in large mints. On top of that, the coin displayed faint die cracks extending from Lincoln's forehead to the rim, and another one near the letters of United States of America on the reverse, likely caused by a worn die continuing to strike after it should have been retired, which adds further uniqueness to the specimen. To make things even more intriguing, microscopic inspection under high magnification revealed small raised blisters under the copper surface, a condition known as plating bubbles, caused by imperfect bonding between the zinc core and copper plating during the minting process, and while these are technically defects, they add to the coin's story and authenticity as a true minting anomaly. When this coin was first discovered, it was initially dismissed by an amateur collector as just another odd-looking penny, but curiosity led them to submit it to a professional grading service where it was authenticated as a genuine multi-error coin of exceptional rarity. The grading experts were astonished, confirming that not only was it real but also that its combination of errors was unlike anything they had seen in a modern U.S. cent, and once word got out, the coin world erupted in excitement. Collectors began to speculate about how such a coin could have escaped the mint's strict quality control, with theories ranging from a misaligned die press during a shift change to an accidental use of test planchets meant for calibration, or even an unnoticed jam in the feed system that caused the double striking and off-center alignment. Whatever the cause, the result was a masterpiece of minting imperfection, and when the coin eventually went to auction, the bidding was fierce, with collectors and investors from around the world vying for the chance to own a piece of numismatic history, until it finally sold for around $3 million, a jaw-dropping figure for a penny minted in the 21st century. The significance of this coin goes beyond its monetary value. It challenges the notion that modern coins are too uniform and error-free to become rare collectibles, proving that even in the era of high-tech minting, errors can still happen, and when they do, they can create modern legends. This particular 2006 penny has become a symbol of how chance, technology, and history can intersect in the most unexpected way, turning a 1-cent coin into a multimillion-dollar artifact. Collectors now scrutinize every 2006 penny they come across, looking for even the slightest signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual surface texture, hoping to uncover another hidden gem. Reports from across the country mention minor 2006 errors like die chips forming extra shapes on Lincoln's head, weak strikes due to low-pressure hits, and filled letters caused by debris clogging the die, and while most of these are worth small premiums, the dream of finding another $3 million coin keeps collectors motivated. The 2006 penny's fame has also reignited interest in studying the minting process itself, as enthusiasts and professionals try to understand how such a rare event could occur in modern times. The minting process involves creating master hubs and dies, which are used to strike thousands of coins, and any flaw or misalignment in those stages can lead to doubling or distortion on the finished coins. However, since 1996, the U.S. Mint had upgraded its die-making technology to a single-squeeze hubbing method, which greatly reduced the chances of doubled dies, making the 2006 double die error almost miraculous in its occurrence. Some speculate that the die may have been improperly aligned during setup or struck twice by mistake before being hardened, resulting in the perfect conditions for doubling. As for the off-center strike, it's likely the result of a brief mechanical failure where the planchet was fed slightly off position, which, combined with the double die and the other errors, created a unique convergence of rare anomalies that no other 2006 penny has matched. For collectors, this discovery emphasizes the importance of attention to detail. Something as small as a misaligned letter or faint line can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth millions. It also highlights how errors that once might have been considered imperfections are now celebrated as treasures, representing a tangible link between human craftsmanship and machine precision. The $3 million 2006 penny is not just a coin, it's a story of how unpredictability and luck can transform the mundane into the magnificent, and it stands as a testament to the enduring fascination humans have with rarity and value. Many experts compare it to other legendary error coins. Last 2023 1-cent coin, we uncover the most shocking discoveries in the world of rare coins, unbelievable minting mistakes, and hidden treasures that can turn something as small as a penny into a life-changing fortune, and today's story is one that will leave you absolutely amazed because we're talking about the 2023 1-cent coin. A modern Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors around the world after one rare specimen sold for a mind-blowing $2 million due to the incredible minting errors and unintentional mistakes that transformed it from an ordinary 1-cent coin into one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. So sit back and stay tuned as we explore how this tiny coin became a multimillion-dollar masterpiece, what specific errors it has, and why even experts are calling it one of the most fascinating minting mysteries of the 21st century. The 2023 penny, like every other Lincoln cent of recent years, was struck in massive numbers by the U.S. Mint at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities, continuing the long tradition of the Lincoln design that has graced America's smallest denomination since 1909, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse. But despite the Mint's modern high-tech production methods that are supposed to eliminate nearly all imperfections, somehow one coin slipped through that defied every quality control measure, showing multiple overlapping errors that made it completely unique and incredibly valuable. The 2023 penny that sold for $2 million wasn't just rare, it was a perfect storm of minting anomalies, the kind of combination that happens maybe once in several decades, and it all started with what experts identified as a dramatic double die obverse error, a condition in which the coin's die, the metal stamp used to strike each coin, had been improperly hugged, resulting in the design elements being impressed twice at slightly different angles. This caused a ghostly doubling effect on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2023, making them appear as if they had shadows or outlines that could easily be seen without magnification. This type of doubling error is exceptionally rare in modern coins because since the mid-1990s, the mint switched to a single-squeeze hubbing method that makes true double dies nearly impossible to produce, so the appearance of a genuine double die in 2023 instantly sent shockwaves through the collecting community. But that was only the beginning. Along with the doubling, the coin exhibited a striking misalignment, an off-center strike where the planchet, or blank metal disc, wasn't perfectly seated in the press during minting, causing part of Lincoln's image and part of the Union shield to be missing or shifted toward the rim. This type of error makes the coin's design appear lopsided and is immediately noticeable, but what made this one extraordinary was that even though the strike was off-center by nearly 10 to 15%, all the inscriptions were still visible, which is extremely uncommon because most off-center strikes result in missing text. Furthermore, under microscopic analysis, specialists discovered die cracks, tiny raised lines caused by fractures in the die, that spread across Lincoln's bust and along the edge of the coin, particularly near the letters, America, creating the appearance of raised veins of metal that indicate a die was used well past its expected lifespan. These die cracks, while small, add immense collector appeal because they serve as visible proof of mint wear and mechanical fatigue that the mint usually catches long before it gets this severe. Adding even more intrigue, experts found evidence of a die clash on the coin, meaning that the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between at some point during production, transferring faint outlines of the reverse design onto the obverse and vice versa, giving the coin an eerie, shadow impression that's visible under the right lighting conditions. Die clash errors are fascinating to collectors because they show the physical interaction between the dies themselves, almost like a ghostly fingerprint of the minting process gone wrong. And then came the most shocking detail of all: the coin appeared to have been struck on a slightly off composition planchet, one that may have varied in its copper plating thickness or possibly contained impurities in its zinc core, resulting in a slightly different luster and coloration compared to regular 2023 pennies. This subtle but measurable difference in composition led some experts to believe that the planchet might have been part of a test batch or even a foreign coin blank mistakenly fed into the press, which would make the coin a transitional or off-metal error, one of the rarest and most valuable types of mint mistakes in existence. The combination of a double die, off-center strike, die cracks, die clash, and possible off-metal composition makes this 2023 penny a near impossible coincidence of errors, something that theoretically should never have been produced, and that's exactly why collectors and investors went wild for it. When the coin first appeared, it was reportedly found in a roll of uncirculated 2023 pennies by a hobbyist who noticed that the date and lettering looked strange under normal light. After examining it more closely, they realized the doubling was genuine and sent it off to a leading third-party grading service for authentication. When the graders confirmed it as a genuine multi-error 2023 Lincoln cent of extraordinary rarity, the news spread like wildfire through the numismatic world, sparking a wave of renewed interest in modern pennies and sending collectors scouring through bank rolls in search of their own 2023 treasures. When the coin eventually went to auction, the bidding was intense and fast-paced, with offers pouring in from elite collectors, private investors, and even museum representatives, until it finally sold for around $2 million, breaking records for a modern-era error coin and cementing its place as a numismatic legend. The sheer improbability of such an error occurring in the highly automated 2023 minting environment makes it one of the most mysterious coins ever produced. To understand just how rare it is, you have to know that modern minting involves robotic feeders, laser alignment systems, and automated cameras that reject flawed coins instantly, so for a coin like this to not only be struck but also to escape into circulation undetected suggests that it was created during a transitional phase or maintenance period when quality controls were momentarily offline, or perhaps during a setup run when adjustments were being made to the dies. Some experts speculate that this coin could have been part of a limited test batch that accidentally entered circulation, explaining why no other known 2023 penny shares exactly the same combination of flaws. The presence of so many errors on one coin implies that multiple systems failed simultaneously: a misaligned planchet feed, a cracked die, a mishubbed die, and possible metal inconsistency, creating a perfect storm of minting chaos that resulted in this one-of-a-kind masterpiece. For collectors, this is the ultimate discovery, a coin that embodies every major category of mint error in one piece, defying the odds in a way that feels almost magical. The 2023 penny's rise to fame also reignited debates about how much human oversight still exists at the U.S. Mint, as some numismatists argue that even in the age of automation, the human element still plays a role in setup, calibration, and inspection, meaning that rare and spectacular errors like this can still occur. It also reminded everyone that the spirit of treasure hunting is alive and well, even in the world of modern coins, because this story shows that you don't need a coin that's 100 years old to find something worth millions. All it takes is a sharp eye and a bit of luck. After the discovery, thousands of collectors started examining their own 2023 pennies for similar signs of doubling or misalignment, and reports began flooding in of minor errors: tiny die chips that look like extra spikes on Lincoln's head, filled letters caused by grease in the dies, and small off-center strikes, but none came close to matching the multi-error marvel that sold for $2 million. The coin became a teaching example in numismatic seminars and articles, illustrating how each type of mint error forms and how rare it is for so many to overlap. In particular, the double die fascinated experts because it proved that even in modern minting, the potential for mechanical imperfection still exists. The off-center strike added a visual element that made the coin instantly recognizable, while the die clash and cracks provided undeniable physical evidence of how violently the minting press malfunctioned during that production cycle. And the off-metal composition element remains the most debated feature. Some metallurgists argue that it might have been an experimental planchet with a slightly higher copper content, giving it a unique reddish-gold tone under certain light. This combination of technical and visual features created a numismatic miracle that no one expected. What makes the 2023 penny even more special is its symbolic value. The Lincoln cent, in continuous production for over a century, represents not just a piece of money but a piece of American